Employee enthusiasm, performance, and eventually company growth are all boosted by training. Training may lead to a promotion, a career change, and work satisfaction. When training is important in this aspect, what about the modern trainer? Let's get to know about the modern trainer. A modern trainer's job is not an easy one. In reality, today's modern trainer must constantly stay updated professionally and have a greater grasp of the company and the trainees. A proactive approach to training will actually benefit all parties concerned. The modern trainer can be identified as someone who directly or indirectly is involved with content curation. Use the vast amount of material accessible online, the sorting, interpreting, and presenting the given data meaningfully. Content curation need not imply generating fresh ideas or developing anything new, but a modern trainer must be familiar with the internet and its legal ramifications. E-learning expertise. Knowing e-learning schedules and activities is a must. For learners, a modern trainer must be aware about e-learning strategies and procedures. Training analysis. Analyzing and interpreting the complete training picture. The capacity to oversee and analyze the overall training outlook will benefit the modern trainer, the company, and the learners. This will aid in selecting the most effective training approach within the organization's budget. Using visuals effectively. Visuals are now highly crucial in training delivery. A modern trainer should employ graphics to make presentations and training resources interesting. The images need not be creative but must be appealing to the learners or trainees. Communication proficiency. A modern trainer should be proficient in oral, writing, and visual communication. Instead of only oral communication skills and body language, a contemporary modern trainer must be educated with grammatical understanding, good sentence building, fluency for writing, and confident delivery. Utilize remote learning tools. A modern trainer should know how to use remote training resources effectively, from essential remote communication tools like email to more advanced options for virtual online presence. Remote learning technologies have expanded a modern trainer's horizons. A modern trainer must be confident while dealing with non-face-to-face interactions over the internet. Training evaluation. A contemporary modern trainer must be able to calculate the cost-benefit analysis of a training program. Training assessment compares post-training outcomes to the modern trainer, trainees, administrators, and management's expectations. Training outcomes would be fertile without assessment. Training without a clear purpose or target is pointless. A modern trainer's responsibility as an innovator is to manage organizational change and create effective performance solutions. Extending the modern trainer's identity goes beyond the role of training. The modern trainer can be any personnel or employee or person involved in training as a job, regardless of the portion of time spent to train people. Thus, the modern trainer can be anyone as long as he or she is involved in training as a profession or an activity on the job. Or he or she can be also someone who is doing presentation, facilitation, mentoring, coaching, and much more. The modern trainer's ability are so much wider than the traditional trainer's scope of work that mostly relates to transactional and operational aspects of the training world. However, the modern trainer should still maintain the traditional roles of training while nurturing the modern aspects of training at the same time. Regardless of the conventional or contemporary side of the training profession, the timeless and limitless reach of the best practices in the modern training world can work wonders for any modern trainer. This is because the positive outcomes of infusing best practices is within the meaning of its definition. Some of the most common definitions that surface its importance are listed as: best practices are commercial or professional procedures that are accepted or prescribed as being correct or most effective. Best practices are methods that have been generally accepted as superior to any alternative, get superior results intentionally. A best practice is defined as a method or technique that has been generally accepted as superior to any alternatives because it produces results that are superior to those achieved by other means or because it has become a standard way of doing things. Much of the scope highlighted by the common definition can point to the best practices as a way of doing something that is seen as a very good example of how it should be done and can be copied by other companies or organizations. Combining both definitions of modern trainer and best practices into a comprehensive collection of sound theoretical as well as practical applications of strategies and techniques borrowed from various resources with sources. Much of the best practices are tried, tested, and substantiated through personal anecdote and or professional experience. Producing training programs following best practices bonds the learners to return to the online or physical classroom, either for the first time since high school or college, or regular check-in skill development sessions to be kept updated. Training becomes more targeted for modern trainers to foster learners with a continuing educational approach as a priority in their careers. The modern trainer establishes a learning environment that works for every learner in diverse locations, contexts, and cultures, often in the same session.